Okay, YouTube, this is my first video, so bear with me. It's going to show some of the mods I've done to my 2014 Ascend from Bass Pro Shops. This is the overall view of the kayak. Up front here, I've added the bi-colored lights, the red and green. Get me ready for some night fishing. Moving a little further back, I've added some interior lights to help see when I'm on the water. I've got this one here, that you see here, and then there's one here, that you can see here. So I got one on each side. Everything's controlled by switches. I've got a set of switches over here that lights up, and then a set of switches over here. I forgot to add that I also added power port up here on the front. We've got, I don't know if you can see that real well, but I've got a 12-volt socket here, and then we have USB connectors here, and that's going to be for my GoPro when I mount my GoPro up on the front. Also, here about midway down, I don't know how well you can see that, but I have a gauge here. There you go, that's a little bit better. A gauge for the battery. Lets me know what the voltage is on it. Also over here by the light, interior light, we have another USB power port. That'll be for GPS or phone. Okay, moving further towards the back, I've got this rack here that I built. It's out of 1-inch PVC. I'm sure you've seen them on YouTube. There's quite a few different versions of them. This one here, pretty much, it's just basic unit. I've got some T's in here for different fishing net or whatever I need in there. Fishing rod holders on the ends, and I did it the way everybody does. Take the 1.5 inch heat and put the bottle in there. On the top here, I've got two small LED lights. I don't know how well you can see those, but what they do is they shine over my shoulder so that I can see for tying knots and whatnot. It helps light up from behind, so it makes it easier to see. On the bottom here, I've got another power port, 12-volt socket that's wired in along with the lights to this plug right here. This plug plugs in right here into this. I used a trolling motor plug, which you can see there. Plugs in there, and that goes back to the battery to power these lights and the power port here. On the top, I used a screw-in plug. I'm going to mount a GoPro up here and then power it from underneath. This comes out, and that way I can swap it out, and I can put another plug on there if I want to add a light, like a utility work light or something like that. I can just mount it to another plug and screw it back in. And then moving a little bit further back, we got the final light that I added, which is the all-around light. It's just your standard 36-inch 2 nautical mile all-around light. And that's pretty much it at this point. I don't have the seat in, obviously, so you can see the switches and everything, but that's pretty much all I've done as far as additions. All this stuff here, I did get a little crazy on the wiring with the switches, and I could have taken and gone with a single lead to each switch bank, but instead I went ahead and I wired each switch with its own fuse. That way, if I blow a fuse, I don't lose all my lights. I'm not left stranded on the water in the dark. This is my fuse box. Here I picked up most of this on eBay. This fuse panel here is from eBay. And what I did is I just brought all the leads in, give each one its own fuse, and then have a quick disconnect. Well, It's not hooked up to the battery at the moment because the battery needs its own box, but just a quick, your normal quick disconnect here that goes, and that'll be hooked into the battery. And then I got a waterproof case here, keep everything nice and dry. And then that just, the way I left enough wire so that I could work on it up here, but it'll just sit down inside here. It slides right up against these two scupper hole and a cup hole mounts, sits right in there, just nice. And there's foam that goes in front of this, it keeps it tucked in there so that it doesn't move around. And that's pretty much it until I do my rudder install. I want to get a rudder on it, and I think that'll pretty much be it. Maybe add a fish finder, see how that goes. But that's it. That's the mods on my Ascend 2014 model. And I've used the rack already. It works really well. Keeps the rods up out of the water and keeps them out of the way. So until the next one, which I'm going to try to do here in a little bit, after it gets dark, I want to come back out and see if I can give you guys a shot of what it looks like lit up. But it's not quite dark, probably about another hour and a half or so. Until then, I'll just wait and see. Thanks. Okay, YouTube, it's dark. We're gonna see what the lights look like on the kayak. I got a flashlight here so we can get a little bit of an idea how dark it actually is. But so I'm gonna light them up, and then I'm gonna walk back and get a full view of it lit up. Here's the front light for the power. It's actually not the lights. The LED lights up the power indicator on the USB port. I got one right here also. Right there. That turns on all my power outlets. The next one will be the bicolored lights. No, grabbed the wrong one, sorry. The stern light. All around light on the stern. The bicolored lights on the front, which you can't see very good at this point. And then we'll move over to the other side, turn on the interior lights. Okay. And they'll be on mainly for intermittent use during fishing, and then turning on the lights on the rack. They're the ones that'll shine over my shoulder, and then that final switch is just the power on the rack, so it won't do anything because it's just a power socket. So moving away, this is what she looks like from the front lit up. So as you can see, I should be pretty well set for night fishing with the running lights, green, and over here you see the red. Okay. And then, like I said, we've got the stern all around light. We've got the two lights on the rack, which will be intermittent use, so just to tie knots or whatnot. And then the interior lights, which will be intermittent use too. It'll only be on when I need them. And so, and as I said, I got power outlets to run off, you know, GPS or whatever I need to run off of a USB port phone or whatever. And then I have the two power outlets, and be able to run a GoPro or another light if I need it. If I need like a utility light for landing at nighttime so I can see the shoreline better, that type of thing. So, but there she is. They're my light modifications that I've made to my kayak. So I appreciate you watching, and if you like this, just hit like at the bottom. I appreciate it. Thanks.